Victims of multiple shack fires around Cape Town have woken up to a bleak Christmas day. Now, over 10 fires broke out over the past week and close to 1,000 people have since been affected. Fires have been reported in areas such as Doorns, Kosovo and Philippi, in the Doorns in the Breederiver municipality. Now, in Nomzamo informal settlement in Strand, rebuilding is underway. That's where SABC News reporter Vanessa Poonah and video journalist Sihle Mkhize are stationed for us this afternoon. So, Vanessa, utter devastation we're seeing coming out of the Western Cape. What's the latest there?
Yes, and you mentioned utter devastation indeed. I mean, a short while ago, I spoke to the aunt of a 30-year-old young man who perished in this fire. He died due to smoke inhalation. Speaking to her, she couldn't hold back tears because she says that this does not feel like a Christmas for the family. She did mention to us that the Department of Human Settlements and other authorities had been in the area to speak to them, but of course we'll only know by Friday what will happen going forward in terms of their beloved deceased. Now, the stories that we are hearing from various people affected by these fires are extremely sad. Also, we've got community leaders telling us that many of the people are not even here at the moment in the Western Cape. Some of them have travelled to the Eastern Cape already. Many would have heard via our platforms as well as social media that their communities or would have informed them that their structures and their homes have burnt to the ground. So even though families may be together in various provinces, but here rubble all around us. But indeed, you've mentioned there that rebuilding efforts are underway, and of course people are desperate to try and get their structures back up again. We are experiencing extremely hot and windy conditions in Cape Town, and as you can see behind me, a group of young men are trying their level best to make sure that the informal homes are up by the end of the day. It's Christmas, but also some of the residents I've been speaking to here say that it hasn't felt like this, many having lost everything. And yes, the little cheer that they've had a short while ago with the gift of the givers bringing some much needed party packs for young ones and Christmas, all about the children, but also they've been on the ground since this fire broke out in the early hours of yesterday morning, providing hot meals and so on. But also just now they've dashed off to another fire out in Doorns near Milnerton. There also a number of shacks caught alight. We do know that the estimate at this point is that more than 200 people could be affected there. So at the moment it's been a bleak Christmas, a very bleak one for people living in informal settlements around Cape Town. I'm joined now by Salman. He's the community leader here in SABC informal settlement in Nomzamo in Strand. Very different picture emerging for us here, Sonobile. Yesterday when I was here, there was absolutely nothing happening, flatness, people just going through, picking through what they can save. Today I see quite a number of structures already coming up. This shows to the need of people to have shelter, to have a place to stay.
Yes, that's very sad. Even it's better today than yesterday, because the people, as you see now, they are cleaning up their spaces, try to reconstruct their places. But as you see that they've been burned even. So I think we thank for the other organizations like Human Settlement that they promise us about material, because the real thing that the people they need is material, so that they can build and then they can live here. And also we thank also the gift of the givers for giving us for giving the children also some good things ever since it's a Christmas. It's not a good Christmas for us today. Fortunately, there's nothing to could be happy for us today. Even the children, they only get good things from gift of the givers, but their clothes, they have been burnt down. And also fortunate for the people, they are dead, that they are not there. They just heard by social media on the phone that their houses, they no longer have houses here. So I don't know what they think there at Eastern Cape. And some of them here, they were preparing to go also in the Eastern Cape. They have their tickets already, they buy their tickets, and already they have their money in their pocket so that they can go to Eastern Cape. Fortunately, everything they banned there.
Just very shortly for me, Sonobile, a very difficult situation. As a community leader, what are you advising the residents of informal settlements, especially with this fire conditions, winds and hot weather? Just very shortly, what would you tell them to do?
We always tell them, even if they're building their house, they must open spaces. If they already have spaces, maybe there will be 3 or 4 houses that they can burn. But it's easy, the fire to spread, because the houses, they are like close. And then the fortunate thing, we have been 30 years here. So you know, when you have 13 years, some other children, they have been born here. So you wanted the space and open a space for him. Then you close the gap. So that's why the houses are so close. So we advise them each and every time that they must open the spaces, so that maybe we can help. If one house burning, at least we can just try to control that.
So Nobili, thank you so much, of course, for your time. And we know that at this point in time, the advice being given is please, people, do not build your shacks close together, but also to be very cautious when indeed dealing with fires, dealing with cooking, making sure that all the necessary precautions are looked at to prevent such tragedy striking specifically at this time of year.
And Vanessa, we've been hearing many conversations around fire safety, particularly during this time, but also let's hear about some of the organizations that are hard on the ground now to ensure that they provide aid to these communities. We heard Gift of the Givers a bit earlier on speaking about some of their efforts. Let's talk about some of the challenges that they're encountering on the ground at this particular point in time.
Yes, indeed. The Gift of the Givers, usually one of the first organizations when any disaster strikes, whether it is fires, whether it's a drought, whether there are farmers in need of feed for cattle and so on. So they're always on the ground. And just now they were telling us that they are experiencing one of the worst fire seasons in terms of shack fires so far. I know that out in Masiphumelele, for example, we spoke to Living Hope, also an NPA that assists people in that community and in that southern region, telling us, or rather appealing to us for donations, asking the public out there for any donations of clothing in all sizes, from babies to children to adults, calling for the donations of non-perishable goods as well as bottled water, because many of these people would have lost absolutely everything. So I think the appeal is for the good Samaritans out there, and especially at Christmas time, when it is a time of giving and sharing with those less fortunate. And I can hardly think of any person needing assistance more than the residents of these informal settlements whose shacks, whose homes have been destroyed. They have nothing. And also some of the residents here telling us that there are quite a number of companies as well as individuals that are coming through, providing breakfast and providing some lunch along with the established relief organizations, saying that they are extremely grateful for every bit of help coming through for people who find themselves in a very destitute situation currently.